I'm far enough along now that I can actually train the camera on this side of the room. It won't offend anybody. Getting this coffee pot strainer cleaned up. I get an eye on that Bonnie's world famous cherry pie over there that I got out for my walk today. I think with all this work of doing dishes, I think that pie is going to go down with some hot coffee as soon as I get done here. I'll have to get another one out of the freezer for the walk. It hadn't been that long since I did dishes, but I did notice that I was doing Arvid and Earl's coffee cups. Then, if I get back my memory, I should be able to figure out how many days that was. But well, I was down and had dinner someplace else the other day, so that's, that gave a freebie there. Ah, some of these got a little plan here. This must be something I fried up. I'll get that right in the wash bucket before I contaminate my wash water. Big pan collection hung back up. We're getting there. Yeah, I gotta wash my cast iron, but I'll make sure I get it oiled up so it doesn't rust. I do have my cast iron pancake pan over there. It never sees the wash water, and I keep it hidden over there so nobody does wash it. Getting pretty well seasoned after all these years. Sometimes I'll set this cast iron over by the wood stove to get her dried out faster. I don't think the lid needs washed. Well, I think it's time to start thinking seriously about that cherry pie over there. I know I'm going to get a lot of comments about, what about the new guest cabin? Well, I didn't get here last spring, so I've got so much trail work to get caught up on, and I want to haul in a bigger selection of logs, and the best time to cut those logs down and peel them is in the spring. So next spring I'm going to go out and I'm going to knock down a lot more of the tamarack trees that are still alive. Even the ones out there, they're starting to die, so I'm losing them, but I should be able to salvage enough of them, and I'll get a better selection of logs when I actually go to put this cabin up. Don't worry, I'm still gonna invite everybody up. I'm gonna get all the logs here, and I'll get the base done. So when we have a cabin raising party back here, we're gonna be able to really go to town. I figure get 6 or 7 helpers around. I won't even need a hoist to raise the logs up higher. We'll just pick them up and set them up there. So that's the plan, but it's going to be a while in coming. So just, get ready. But I think if I gather logs for another year or so, let them dry out. These are tamaracks, so they're not going to go bad. This wood can sit out here like this and it'll be fine. So we're working on it, but I just got other priorities, like putting all those lawnmowers to use out on my trails. One of my main projects this week is to get some of this trail back here leveled off. It's one of the main trails that I want to be able to groom a cross-country ski track on with that snow dog. That last winter was our introductory year with that. And in the learning curve, I found out that what it really doesn't like is holes, because the front just dips down and then it just wants to veer off in its own direction. So my goal out here is to cut some of the dead timber and lay it into these places to kind of even things up. Now, I hated seeing all those tamarack trees that are gonna, they're dying in the area, and this is why we're gonna build a new cabin out of them, the ones that haven't died yet. But down in here, the bugs have already moved through, even though we're only about 400 yards from the logging project over there by the cabin. But it moves so slow, but anyway, all the tamarack in here are dead, and that's what I'm using. I'm cutting them down, and I'm using them to lay into these holes. Now, one of my little tools, my little grabber, well, that ribbon on there isn't so I don't forget it. It's so I can find it when I lay it down out in the woods. They should never make a tool like this and paint it black. It ought to be a bright color. If I had a spray paint, I'd do it, but I did the next best thing and hung some flagging tape on there. So I can't tell you how long I spent searching for this thing over different days. So I'm going to head on down the trail here and keep moving along. Before I patched this spot up, it was a virtual leg breaker, ski breaker. Now we got a nice smooth way over that big hole. Right in through here, I had this pretty well leveled out a year ago, so it's in pretty good shape. I did a little patching, but otherwise there was no dips and gullies I was doing nosedives into. Ideally the trail would be perfectly straight, but I'm only cutting any dead trees, so we need to go around any live trees. I'm glad to see as I walk along here, I've gotten along further than I thought. This total trail's about just over a kilometer long, so I know some areas aren't too bad, and I know other parts are really ugly. So there will be a lot of slicing and dicing, like going through this little spot here. You see, I left my saw and helmet out here the last time. I got my pack on. I got some fresh fuel, and chain oil. Close enough to the cabin. I didn't pack any lunch, but yeah, this will be a lot nicer going through here with this evened out. This will be my work area for the day coming up here. Not too bad through here. But then as we get up into here, you can see that when I laid the trail in, this big tamarack tree right here was alive. Well, it's dead now, so that means I'm gonna cut it off flush at the ground, and I'll straighten out the trail instead of having this big kink in here. So it all takes a little time, but it's ended up making a pretty nice trail. I didn't want this stump in my way for the years to come, so there's no real dirt here, it's just moss, so I cut down the roots. Now the idea is tip this thing over and have it take that root ball out with it, so I can make this level without a lot of trouble. Oh, it's been some trouble, but it might be worth it. See if some leverage helps. Better. Now to start putting the puzzle together, get it laid out so it has the even walkway that I'm after. Got a special plan for this one. We'll see how it works. Whoa! Jim! Oh, that's right. He's still recovering from a trip to Iceland that he didn't invite me along on. Good thing I'm not being paid by the mile. Wouldn't be making very much money.